Most SMB meetings start blind, or they take hours of preparation, digging through LinkedIn, websites, and notes. Both are problems. Either you walk in unprepared or you wasted hours you really don't have. Think about it, you are a CEO, a top salesperson, or a leader, and you walk into a meeting without clarity on who you are speaking to, what they care about, and where the opportunities are. It shows, right? The prospect feels you're wasting their time. But now imagine walking into a same meeting with a clear, crisp one page brief. It sets the stage. It gives you talking points and positions you as someone who respects their time. Now that's a deal maker. But we really don't have 20 plus hours in a day to prep for the 10 plus meetings that we have as leaders. Most AI tools today are post meeting, they summarize after the call. However, we need intelligence before the meeting even starts. That's what we are building today. Namaste, I am Akhil, founder of IK Automation. Welcome to the series From Idea to Agent, our 100-day sprint turning raw agents or turning raw ideas into working micro agents. Here, we don't outsource our thinking to AI, we apply structure, design, and critical reasoning so you can go from an idea in your head to an agent in your system. Today's build is a pre meeting brief generator. Let's call it BriefMate. Come on, let's build.
Three steps. Three steps to building AI agents or micro apps. We'll be using a platform called Databutton to build it because it has the most autonomy of all the apps that there are. So the step one is that we define what we need. Step two is how it looks and feels. And step three, then we build the agent. So let's start with step one. We define requirements and user stories. What does that mean? In simple words, we are writing down what the agents should do and for whom. Think of it like giving directions before building a house. You need a clear plan before laying the brick, and that's the idea of defining the requirements. So, all right, now let's look at the product requirements document that we have on the screen. It's also called a PRD document. Okay, so the green box that you see is the core features requirement. These are the must have features of the app. Let's start with inputs. So, what do we need from the user? For creating a meeting brief, we would typically require the title or time of the meeting. Then we would need the name of the attendees. Also, we should be able to search them through their LinkedIn URLs. Then we will write down the agenda that we have for the meeting. And optionally, you can also add the company's URL, the website URL, so that we can search that up as well. So this ensures that we have proper inputs before we head into the meeting. Next step, we need what should the outputs look like, the actual brief. Now, this could include questions like what does the agent give back? So the answer to that could be we need to have fixed sections like reasoning, attendee snapshots, company summary, the associated risk, the questions that we should ask, and probably a checklist as well at the end. This should ensure that we get proper outcomes 100% of the times. Next step is we must define what are our must haves, things that cannot be skipped. So we need to preview, then we should be able to copy the preview and we could finally export it to PDF. Also, I think it should have the ability to save the last five briefs that it's given as outputs to understand the history. Finally, we'll define what the non-goals are. And this is a very important part of the AI. Knowing and telling it what we absolutely don't want. These are equally important. Okay. So what are we not building in version one? We're not building integrations. There's no CRM sync, there's no Slack bot, there's no connection via APIs, just the core agent. So this section basically answers what should the agent definitely do and what is out of scope right now, right? Next, we move on to user stories, the blue box. This is where we imagine from the user's perspective. So as a sales rep, I need to be prepared fast before a client call. This is my user story as a sales guy. But as a project manager or a delivery lead, I probably need to see the risks and priorities clearly. However, as a founder or executive, I just want to scan the two or three key context bullets and walk into the room informed. So, user stories keep us grounded in real world needs instead of building features nobody cares about. I'm hoping this is easy to understand. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments, send me a mail, or book a quick meet? I'll answer all of them. Okay, on to next. We define specifications through the yellow box. This is the detail of how the app should actually behave. The first specification is UI. How should the app look? So for me, I want the app to be very, very simple because this is the light version. So I want the screen is split in two halves. On the left, you enter inputs. On the right, you see the preview and actions, which are your outputs. Specification number two is data. So we'll store everything in a simple SQL table called briefs. Each row must have an ID, creation time, the title, attendee's name, the agenda, and the company's URL if you put it there, and the summary in a Markdown language. Now, Markdown is a simple system for adding simple formatting to plain text such as bold, italic, etc. Okay, next, behavior specifications. How do we want it to act? The agent can fetch a URL if we provide one. Then it uses the system as well as the user prompts along with the LLM, gives a summary, exports it to PDF, and saves a list of the last five briefs. This is how the behavior of the agent should be. Next, spec edge cases. What happens when things go wrong? If the input is very thin, the agent will I add a line at the end like what to add next time for the user. This basically means if someone only provides very basic or almost no details, like just a meeting title and nothing else, in those cases the AI doesn't have enough context to generate a helpful or structured response. So what does the agent do in that case? It avoids producing an empty or meaningless output. The agent adds a prompt or guides the user saying what to add next time. This helps the user understand what's missing, like it could be date, time details, attendees details, company context, or agenda, and acts as a gentle nudge to enrich the input next time for a better result. And why that matters, it keeps the tool from breaking or showing blank. Instead, it gently educates the user. It improves input quality over time without requiring more manual intervention. Similarly, if the agenda is very long, it asks to trim it down, or if the URL fails, it falls back gracefully. This is why we add the behavior to map exactly how the app should act when ideal inputs are missing. Okay, so final specification. What does the definition of done mean for us? DOD. For us, the output should always be consistent. I believe 400 to 600 words is perfect. It should have fixed headings and a clean PDF that should be exported. So this section answers the question how exactly will the agent work under the hood and in the UI, the front customer facing UI. Finally, the purple box. We have the code. In this case, structure beats vibes. Even micro agents deserve a PRD. That's how small tools become operating system. This is our point of view. It reminds us why we are doing this because even tiny agents, if designed properly, can stack together into a full AI native operating system for your business. So that's the PRD requirements, user stories, specs, and codes explained line by line. When you are building your agents, always write this down first. It might take 15 to 30 minutes, but it saves you hours of confusion later. Okay, so we are with our requirements. Let's set the structure of the app.
All right, so after the PRD is made, let's go to step two, the wireframe. Now let's sketch the app before touching any code. This is how we want the app structure to look. On the left side, you enter details, meeting title, attendees, agenda, company URL. And when you hit that generate brief button, it should trigger the output action. You're also giving the option to have sample data as inputs in case you want to test. Now on the right panel, you see the live preview of your brief with buttons to copy, download as PDF, and save the brief. Below that, your last five saved briefs are listed so you can always revisit them. This simple framework of Wireframe keeps things frictionless. Even a busy CEO can use it under 2 minutes. Okay, step three. Now let's move to building the app. Every agent needs a brain, and that is where prompts come in. We'll use two types of prompts. The first one is a system prompt that defines the role that the agent will play. In this case, you are BriefMate, a meeting brief generator for SMB leaders and professionals. It forces the agent to always produce structured, consistent, and professional briefs. The second is the user prompt template, which is dynamic in nature. It always changes. It pulls your inputs such as your title, the attendees that you gave, agenda, the company URL, and sends them to a LLM model for generation. Together, these prompts make the agent predictable. It won't hallucinate, it won't make stuff up. Instead, it delivers exactly the six sections that we designed in the PRD: the reasoning snapshot, name of the attendees, company context, the priorities and risks, the questions it must ask, and the agenda checklist. So this is the application databutton.com where we'll be building our application, quite a rhetoric. So let's build a new app, and we will require three things over here, and that all of that we have generated beforehand. So you need the description. So we've created the prompt for it. We have the prompt ready. Then we need the requirements documents that we will put in over here. So let's put the prompt first. Here we'll put the prompt that I've already copied and pasted over here. Click continue. Then we'll add the requirement document. So I have the PRD document that we created and the agent wireframe. Once they are uploaded over here, you can go ahead and continue. And this is the inspiration page. So this is basically any website or any design that you like over the internet. You can actually just screenshot it and put it over here and kind of copy it in a way. We'll click let's start. Now, before I dive into the data button build, let me set some expectations. With natural language coding, a lot of the work looks like me pasting prompts, adjusting, and waiting for the system to respond, and then testing again. That part can be repetitive and a bit slow on camera. But that's actually the beauty of this way of building. You don't need to master syntax or debug complex code. You just need patience, clarity, and structure, just like we see at the back. The plan is getting built. The agent listens to your instructions and you refine step by step until it behaves exactly how you want. So instead of making you sit through every keystroke, I'll show you the important checkpoints, how I define the brain of the agent with the prompts that we just given, how I connect users to the outputs, and finally how the agent delivers real results. The in between, the copy paste, small tweaks, and retries, that's part of the process. And honestly, that's where the magic of natural language coding lies. It is not instant, it's iterative. Think of it like Lego. You don't need to see me snap every single piece together. You want to see how the blocks fit and what the final build looks like. To build BriefMate, we have to create the landing page first, then build a brief page with the split layouts so that we have two parts to that, and then it also gives a markdown language to it. Then it generates a backend API which we can which we can create using Open API. I also think we will be using data seek over here. Let's see. Then we'll wire the brief page to the API content and implement the copy and PDF export idea. Finally, we'll merge the backend content and create the database models and APIs to save and list the five briefs. All right. I might tweak the plan a little, but yes, that's the core plan. So I'll I'll come to the end of this app once I build it and then show you the process of how it went through. So here we have the application. It's built now. All the five steps done. The landing page was built. The brief generator page was built. The database schema was readied. The Open API endpoints were readied. OpenAI APIs were readied endpoints, and at the end we connected the front and the back end. So this is how the process it took us through. The first part was creating the landing page. It went smoothly. I then gave it the idea to apply emerald green and mint color, emerald mint and orange theme for my landing page. It did that. Then it went ahead and made the brief generator page for me. It went smoothly. Then we went through the database creation and API endpoints. I also asked it to give me some sample data. Then it created task number 4 as well, where it asked me for my API keys, and I gave my Open API keys. And I thought that probably since I'm going to give this app away to use for free, I need it to be cost efficient. So I asked it to change the Open API endpoint to DeepSeek API endpoint, so it would be more cost efficient. So that is something that it also did over here. This is not OpenAI key. I want it to be a deep sea key, and that is how it was built over around 20 to 30 minutes. The time it took to build. iteratively. I got the application made. Think about it, something like this would take weeks and even days and weeks for developers to make. And if you're not a developer, you cannot make this before. Right now, you can do that. That is magical, in my opinion. So we'll see the preview now. This is how the landing page of BriefMate looks like. We've deployed the application now. We can deploy it over here. I deployed the application, and once I click this button, we can go to the application. Let's go and check how this app was made. Awesome. So here we have the brief made landing page in front of us. Let's try to generate the brief and see how it actually turns out. So we've got the sample data over here to test, and I'll input my company's website and see how this works. Right. I want you to take this perspective though. What you're seeing right now is more than just code on screen. Just some time back, to build even a simple app like this, you needed a developer, a designer, and weeks of back and forth with them, and thousands of dollars spent. Today, with natural language coding, we are literally building in real time using English as our programming language. And that's where the real magic lies. Your ideas no longer need to wait for someone else to translate them into code. This isn't no code, this isn't a template. It's AI taking your intent, your logic, your structure, and turning it back into something that runs. Okay, let's watch what it has given us. We asked it for a discovery call preview, and so here are the six details that we needed. The reasoning snapshot. It's focused on aligning lead quality reporting with the AI driven automation offerings, prioritize questions to uncover gaps, highlighted risks, attendee snapshots. So this is Miss Anita Rao, head of marketing, and Vikram Desai, sales lead. Now, since we haven't given them, given the system the LinkedIn URLs, it will assume what a head of marketing and a sales lead would need as priorities. Company context. So it's yes, it's 100% scraped my website to understand what we are offering. It's now it's given priority and risk basis that it's given me questions to ask. So what's the biggest friction point in your current lead qualification? What are measuring lead quality? CRM tools, bilingual, multilingual bots. Okay, and what's your process for handling edge cases? These are good, insightful questions that we can ask them. Agenda checklist, confirm lead quality reporting pain points. Okay, next steps. It's also given us what to add next time, like we discussed earlier. Request specifics on current tech stack. Okay, it's given the word count between 400 and 600, which is 520. We have the actionable tone, client centric, and it is avoiding any hype. Let's see if it gets copied to the clipboard. Yes, it does. Let's see if it downloads the PDF. Okay, it does again. I just show the PDF to you. Okay, so this is okay. The PDF is also being generated. Now I see it has some corners cut. So I'll have to ask it to do the PDF proper. But think about this for a second. If you are watching this, you are witnessing the shift from how do I find someone to build this for me to how do I explain my idea clearly enough to the machine. And that is the leap from dependence to independence, from idea to agent. What you've just seen is the light version, already saving you 30 to 60 minutes before every meeting and providing intelligence to close deals. However, this is still just a tool. But think about a pro version. That's where it gets game changing. Now imagine this agent. It automatically scans tomorrow's calendar while you sleep. Then it generates detailed briefs overnight, enriching with live company signals. And finally, it drops them straight into your Slack, email, or CRM tool. So your team walks in prepared every meeting, every single time. That's when this stops being just a tool and becomes part of your operating system of your business. To prove this, I'm opening three pilot slots for companies who want their own integrated version, fully customized, embedded into your workflows at a founder's price. Because at this moment, the market being new, we are thinking of building solutions that form to become our most powerful case studies more than thinking of profits at this point. So, no long contracts, no hidden strings, just a chance to experience the future of meeting prep in your business today. Apply with the link below. Don't wait, it's first come, first served. And if you are enjoying this journey, keep following as we go from idea to agent, building and conceptualizing 100 micro agents in 100 days.